Hey guys, what's going on? Scott here. Today's tip's an easy one. It's going to be API responses. This year so far, it seems like there's been a bazillion different APIs being set up. And one of the number one questions I get is, how does the actual success response work when you're creating custom integrations for your clients? So whether it's ping post, whether it's regular API, some, crazy JSON, whatever. Not a tech guy, but there's been a ton of crazy APIs being put into place, and the question is always the same. So I thought I'd provide some clarity on the success response. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a client first, and we'll say Alice, and we'll go to more options, API integrations, and let's say we're adding a new one. So when we're adding a new integration, you get to choose, all the regular stuff and put your variables in and the rest here. But this video is about the success response. And the success response works like this. It identifies and looks for an exact term in the response that you get from your client. So when you post leads out, it's looking for an exact term. That term can be, let me just get really specific here. That term could be the word success, or it could be all caps success. The term is the same. Okay, or it could be successful. So if you only put the word success in there and you're getting a response that's successful, well, it finds that term. It grabs that exact term and will count the lead. And I have another example here. True or true, caps versus lowercase, doesn't matter. Number one or the word one, those are two totally separate responses. The numeral one, if it's represented only in a success response, would then track and display and report accordingly inside Listflex. But the reason it was kind of important for me to share this is because a lot of the systems that our users are they're sending to clients, and they're getting just really crazy stuff back. And here's an example. There's actually two examples here. One, this is a shorter version right here, but you can see the system returned back success, add lead has been added, some other stuff. So the obvious one is success. However, I have seen systems return a success, the word, and then semicolon, fail duplicate. In that case, you can't use the word success because it's represented in a good lead and in a bad lead. So you got to find some sort of a term that's unique in the response and only represented in a success. And down below that, this is a real example of a system. It's called MailWiz, and their response is crazy. And somewhere in here, there's a term that our clients use, and I think it's accepted. I'm just going to look real quick here. It didn't show up, but either way, this is a real response from a system. So if you could come in here and identify an exact term or response inside of this each time, you would then have the ability to take that response and verify. Sometimes you'll see all of this crazy stuff, and then it'll say like, you've been added to the list, or you've been successfully, opted in or registered or whatever. And that specific term, again, only if it's in the response of a lead that is successfully accepted, it'll track and accordingly. So when you're down here and you're entering, when you're creating that new post, you can set it up any way you want, queued one, whatever the success response is, but it just has to be the exact term has to be represented in only the success response. And that's it. So basically, in short, it's really flexible as long as you look for an exact term. So if you have any questions, just let us know. Thanks.